All right, it's 6 minutes after 4 o'clock on the 20th day of October in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thank you for joining us. It is the second hour of the show today, and we're going to cover a couple of local news stories here. We usually do that in the first hour, but I wanted to do that in the second. Now, Clutch is in here, and did you get to air your discontent with the thing with the transgender?
I did for a few moments, and now I feel kind of guilty, actually. I came in here all fired up, and that transgender subject is something that I got to watch. I got to watch out what I say in public, and I'm not a PC guy, never have been, never will be, and I struggle with that daily. Here, a big challenge of mine, because it's so black and white, and I find out the older that I get, the more right that I lean when topics like this are presented, when I hear stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's you didn't do anything wrong on the yes. You did kind of come firing in here like a.
I guess I did.
I tell you what, the Lord's name in vain hasn't been said in here since Frank found out he had to eat pork. So it's been quite a time.
I apologize for that.
That's all right. All right. An officer from Iowa's Transportation Department did not have legal authority to issue a speeding ticket to 16-year-old Polk County District Court Associate Judge Heather Lauber ruled Thursday. The decision dismissing the ticket against Peyton Nantes, a student at Southeast Polk High School, is likely to be appealed. But if the ruling stands, legal challenges of tens of thousands of tickets issued by Iowa Department of Transportation officers could follow with millions of dollars at stake. Now, do you understand what we're talking about here? Today's ruling, this is a quote from Brandon Brown, the attorney for Peyton Nantes. Today's ruling is the beginning rather than the end of this issue, said Brandon Brown, Ence's attorney. Brown said he will ask the court to issue an injunction forbidding DOT officers from making such stops in the future. Audrey Henry, a spokesperson for the Iowa Department of Transportation. Remember, you always get both sides here in Mac's World. Andrea Henry, a spokesperson for the Iowa Department of Transportation, said Thursday the department was just made aware of the ruling and would not have immediate comment on the matter. That was me. It remains unclear whether the department intends to continue to issue tickets pending a possible appeal. Here's what's at the heart of this thing. It's a law that restricts the enforcement powers of state officers. Let me say that again. At the heart of the issue is a law that restricts the enforcement powers of state officers. It limits officers outside of the state's public safety department from enforcing most moving violations. The Iowa Supreme Court ruled nearly 70 years ago that DOT officers did not have those powers. A 1990 Iowa Attorney General opinion concurred, saying DOT officers' authority is limited to drunken driving enforcement and commercial motor vehicle violations related to registration. The state's reliance on other portions of the law to justify the tickets is misplaced because of the Supreme Court's ruling. That's what Lauder said in dismissing ANZA tickets. And at Zen's tickets. That's the last name. Peyton Nantes. The DOT officer did not have the authority of Iowa law to issue the ticket. All right, we don't need to go into the Iowa who it was. DOT officers are not subject to training. Okay, so here's the question. Should the Iowa Department of Transportation officers be able to issue you a speeding ticket? Now, you know who these are, right? These are the guys that chase down the semis.
Right.
Right? When they go into the
way stations.
When they go into the way stations, if a truck doesn't stop by the way station, you know, I shouldn't talk about this because I don't know. Is that what it is, Frank? Drive trucks?
Well, generally what falls under their purview is things dealing with people who have CDLs, generally speaking.
Right.
Commercial vehicles and commercial vehicle drivers, operators. But I've been told that they can pull over regular citizens with regular operators driving a car. So this is all, I think, in the gray area, and I think the courts is stepping into it and saying what they believe they can and cannot do.
It was May 27th when his Chrysler Sebring convertible was clocked going 84 and a 55. Scofflaw. His ticket is $256. $256. Sorry, I messed up the picture there. The state's reliance on other portions of the law to justify the tickets is misplaced because of Supreme Court ruling. So what do you think, Frank? Do you think these guys should be able to pull somebody over for speeding?
Who was the person they pulled over? Was it a student at Southeast Pole?
Does it matter?
Well, no, but I'm just wondering if somebody's got some clout. If the lad is the daddy is somebody that's in the state or something, are they having some clout? In other words, if this was just my daughter, my grandson, would anyone care?
How is that relevant? If you're doing this Bo and Luke Duke thing on 235 or on I-80, it doesn't matter who you are.
Well, that's not what I'm arguing. I'm just wondering if this would even be a story if somebody didn't have some pull to make it a story.
Right.
Hey, it's a Frank thing. You just got to get used to it. Every once in a while, it's squirrel, and then we lose him, because he wants to find. He does not believe that anyone should have entitlement in the world. So straight no entitlement. One day Frank was with me, and we were driving down the road, and I had a big open thing of Dr. Pepper, and of course I have open container in the car. And so Frank called the cops on 911, State Patrol, in my car. I'm driving along and listening to the radio, and Frank's over here in the corner going, this is,
Did you seriously do this?
I'm in a silver and license plate, and he's got open container. Well, I phone, man. I'm grooving to the worship music and just praising Jesus. And before I know it, I got cherries behind me. Scares the heck out of me. Woo! Coming after me. Come to find out, they said somebody called in and said you had open container. Well, no, I didn't. And so the officer played back the 911 tape.
It's Frank.
It's Frank. And it's Frank.
What a rock star.
So,
nice move, dude. Seriously.
So it's this entitlement. You have to just get used to it. All right. Let's go to Brandon from Colfax. Brandon's calling us at 515-244-0077. Brandon, what do you think about this?
Hey, well, growing up, now I don't know if I'm 100% correct on this, but when I was growing up, I'm just turned 29 last month, and growing up driving, I've been always told that, and this is from family members, that you can be pulled over by those enforcement vehicles, but they can't give you a ticket, but they can relay the message to an officer, and they can come and pull in behind them and give you the ticket. Again, I don't know if that's correct, but that was kind of a hearsay that I always grew up with. Because those enforcement vehicles can talk back and forth with local PD or trooper on the interstate, and they can come and issue the ticket at speed like, what was that, 84 and the 50. Again, that's what I used to know growing up driving on the road.
Hey, Brandon, would that be something like what would be considered a citizen's arrest? Because
no, because
no. I'm saying. So the enforcement vehicle clocks me going 84 and 55. They can't issue me the ticket is what I've grown up with.
But they can detain them.
They can detain me and then call the cop in, and they would come and issue the ticket if it was such an excessive speed or something.
But that's the question. Would the DOT officer kind of be doing almost like a citizen's arrest until the officer gets there to officially put the hammer on you?
All right, can I answer your question,
yes.
Frank? Okay. Do you see what I put up with every day, Clutch? I'm talking about important things, and he's talking about...
He's got so much conviction on his face when he speaks, though.
All right, the officer that issued the ticket is a Marion County Sheriff's deputy. He has completed the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy's 12-week training program and is a certified peace officer, just like all other police officers in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So he has... He has the same training as a police person.
Was he on duty as an enforcer or as the sheriff deputy?
I don't know.
Because if he was, in my opinion, from hearing this, if he was on duty as the sheriff deputy, then he was allowed to issue the ticket. But again, from my hearsay of growing up, if an enforcement pulls you over, they can't issue the ticket, but they can relay or radio in an officer that can, and they can come and give you that ticket.
We got to make some phone calls and get some guests in here, I think, and resolve this.
Yeah.
Well, he resolved it. I mean, a judge came in and said, sorry, you have no right to issue that, and then went back in Iowa law and said, this is why you can't.
Yeah.
The state's reliance on other portions of the law. Well, wait a minute here. At the heart of the issue is the law that restricts the enforcement powers of state officers. The law says he can't do this. It limits officers outside of the state's public safety department from enforcing moving violations. That was ruled on by the Iowa Supreme Court nearly 70 years ago, when the speed limits were like 9.
Correct.
So, he according to Iowa law, he broke the law.
Correct.
Brandon, thanks for listening, man.
Hey,
thanks for
thank
calling
you.
in, too.
Hey,
Appreciate
thank
you. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, now I do know this for a fact.
Uh-oh.
So don't even argue with this. I know
Porky
somebody.
pig cannot be cooked and eaten on Saturday.
I know somebody that went down to take a driver's. They were an operator. They wanted to get a chauffeur's license. They pulled up with the driving instructor, who is a DOT officer. Pulled up, did not stop at where the sidewalk, and done kind of a California roll out the parking lot. That DOT officer pulled him right back in, didn't give him his chauffeur's license, and pulled his operator's license. So they must have some power.
All right, when we come back, I'll talk a little bit about this Iowa State University's flight service that's in all the news right now. It's just crazy. I want to get some answers. If you know anything, call us here live at The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah!
If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their struggle. Join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano's sausage!
Rockton Prevention has celebrated 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 4 o'clock, 4:21 in the afternoon, I bought a new house, and it did not have a water softening system. And so I did what everybody does.
Hey, Culligan man.
I called my Culligan man at 274-25. That's the first time you've heard that, isn't it, Clutch? 274-2573. And I had no idea about all the different things that a Culligan water softener will do. It removes unpleasant odors. It removes unpleasant tastes. It removes dirt, silt, clay, and other sediments. Man, I'm so happy I got mine. I hope you get one too. Give them a call. Locally owned Christian family. 274-2574. And what do you say again?
Hey, Culligan man.
By the way, Mr. Roloff, it was a week ago that I mentioned that
we recorded
you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm not even going to do it now. Now you've just made me mad. Now it will not get done.
Well, it's your account.
No, that's not the point.
You told me last week you do it.
This is stuff your audience doesn't know what you're talking about and doesn't care.
Yeah.
Let's get back.
Let's go with what Clutch said. I don't care.
Okay.
If I'm a listener, I'm going, what are they even talking about?
But see, they're used to that.
Is that they're used to?
Yeah, they're used. This is like watching Oprah.
Come on, Max. You're better than that.
Oh,
you're better than that.
You have something you want to say?
No, he's actually holding you to a standard, buddy.
No, he's not. Here, do it again.
Hey, Culligan man.
Do it again.
No.
Hey, Culligan man.
Do it again.
I'm done. Do it one more time. I leave. Do it one more time. Don't do that.
Really?
Not teasing.
All right, now somebody help me out with this. I really need my listeners' help. If there's somebody that works at ISU, if there's somebody that graduated from ISU, if there's somebody in the FAA, if somebody help me understand. This is the news story. The Iowa Board of Regents has called for an audit of each individual flight offered by Iowa State University's flight services since the university's president came to campus in 2012. The Regents voted unanimously today to direct the board's internal auditors to expand their current review of travel and equipment policies into a broader independent audit. The review was sparked by questions over the use of the university-owned aircraft by ISU President Stephen Leith, who has a pilot's license. Since ISU officially confirmed last month that Leith had damaged the university's smaller plane, further questions have been raised about Leith's L-E-A-T-H-S, Leith's use of a Cirrus SR-22 as a pilot, Leith's passenger use of the university's later King Air, and the 2014 purchase of both planes. In light of recent events regarding Iowa State, and frankly, I'm extremely disappointed, said Bruce Rastletter. I said that name wrong. Bruce, president of the board, and at the start of Thursday's meeting in Cedar Rapids, quote unquote, we at the Board of Regents take the use. Let me change my voice. We at the Board of Regents take the use of a university resource very seriously. In more than just a few instances, the decisions to use the plane to be questionable at best. He went on to describe Leith as a successful president, but said the issue around the use of the university aircraft, quote unquote, has taken focus away from us being able to move our public universities forward. We need to return to devoting all of our time and resources to making the public universities the best they can be.
Okay, blah, blah, blah. What was he doing?
He's a pilot.
What was he doing? He damaged the plane, though, it said, I think. Right?
I don't
So-
know.
Which warrants this entire...
So was the guy in a backhanded way saying he's a great president but a lousy pilot?
Yes, exactly. That's how I interpreted that, exactly.
The plane was purchased by the ISU Foundation and gifted to the university. It is the only such gifting arrangement at any of the foundations serving Iowa's 3 public universities. The university's purchase of the plane, $470,000, was under the requiring region approval. Ooh. But Leith's frequent use of the aircraft has raised questions whether the university had bought it specifically for him or not. Leith, who is expected to answer Regent questions later today, has pledged to no longer pilot any state-owned aircraft and to curtail his passenger use of such planes. He said the majority of his travel had been on commercial airlines, but the use of ISU's plane helped him travel to meet with donors and supporters.
So do you think Iowa State knew he was going to borrow the plane? Or?
Yeah. I think it was part of his deal. He was hired in 2012, and then they bought a plane.
Okay,
hey, if you come here, we'll buy you a plane.
Is it like, Dad, I'm going to borrow the car type thing? Where
Yeah.
I'm going to just take the plane out to to Wisconsin to pick up some friends, golf. What are you talking about here?
They probably give him the privilege, but said, "Be careful what you're doing." And
So he
wasn't
damaged.
careful.
He damaged the plane. It sounds like it to some degree, and now we got this.
But there's nothing more in here about the damage.
Okay.
So that tells me, he got a flat tire, he bumped a mailbox. I don't know what it is. I mean, if there was any substantial damage, they'd have a price. It'd be $400,000 worth of damage.
What do you think he did?
Well, I'll tell you what he did. Can I give you my opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. The Des Moines Register doesn't like this guy and hasn't liked him from day one. And this story comes out of the Des Moines Register. I'm not saying there isn't a story, but I'm not sure this
warrants.
Yeah, I'm not sure it warrants all the. I mean, every day there's something in the paper about this plane. Every single day, and that's just the MO of the Des Moines Register. They want to make a story out of things.
So somebody donated a $400,000 aircraft to Iowa State. What would it?
No. They collected money from people and bought a plane.
I thought somebody donated this. Where I was going with this is, let's get somebody to donate a helicopter to Max World, maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
Can we land it on the roof?
Like to do traffic.
Maybe a rowboat. We'll start with a rowboat.
And we could land it on the roof.
We're landing on the roof of the mall, yeah.
What are your thoughts about this? 515-809-0993. That is the Service Legends Truth text line, brought to you by First Call Bail Bonds, reminding you not to text and drive. Or you can call Jebediah at 515-244-0077 and give me some thoughts on this. Am I not considering this? Back up. Am I wrong in questioning why a big deal's being made out of this? Is this a big deal?
No.
Well, I don't think so. But if somebody disagrees, I want to hear it. Be my Bradshaw. Call me up. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I don't think it's the Des Moines Register. I think the Board of Regents may not like this guy because they're the ones that are upset with him.
Because he got caught doing something bad.
Well, what did he get caught doing?
Maybe he wasn't supposed to use the plane at all. Maybe just because he's a pilot didn't give him permission to use the plane. Maybe he was using it without their knowledge.
According to the way the story was reported by Iowa Public Radio, and I was reading a little bit of that.
There you go.
Is that part of the frustration is that the Iowa Board of Regents doesn't like that this is continuing to be in the news. They really want the president of the Iowa State, to just say, "Hey, I'm using the plane. Come clean." That was in this article. That was a big no-no, nasty, rude phrase to say that he should come clean. Basically, they just wanted open transparency within the Board of Regents rather than this being reported in the newspapers all the time.
This is about Johnny borrowing the car and scratching it and not telling Dad.
You know what it's really about?
Same thing.
You know what it's really about, Clutch? It's not even about Johnny borrowing the car and scratching it. It's about that the neighbors found out. See, the Board of Regents have this delusion in their mind that because they're these uppity so-and-sos that run these universities and these schools and stuff, that they have a good image in the community, and they want to keep that. So one of their peeps went and flew their plane, and they scratched it up, and they're embarrassed. You see, the big school boards, they're embarrassed, and so they don't like all the bad press. That's
clarity.
Really what it is. It's really about shame. It's really about down the street. What might she think?
All right, let's go to the phones where Fritz is standing by. Fritz, you're live in Max World. What do you think about this, Fritz?
I think it is kind of a big deal. I think the college is doing a good job of trying to respond to it. I read about what happened, and what he did was he landed. And he did about $12,000 worth of damage to the landing gear, and then it increased a little bit to $14,000. In my opinion, this is just a small thing that happened that has grown to becoming more that they wanted to deal with, and it does look kind of bad that a civil servant is gallivanting around in several airplanes. And the worst thing about it, I think, is the story about the $500,000 plane that, the Beechcraft or whatever that is. I think that is, that they need multiple planes is not a good use of funds.
I agree with that.
Yeah, did they, Fritz, has ISU had planes before, or is this the first time they've had one? Because they didn't have these planes when Leith was hired. Yeah,
I would guess from what I read that they didn't, and so that they bought these, invested heavily in airplanes, airplanes are nice, but they're very expensive.
Yeah, there's wants and needs. Which one is that, do you think?
Well, when you look at college kids are footing the bill. It's student loans that are footing the bill this summer.
Well, no, they what they said was they collected that the planes were bought by the ISU Foundation, which is all based on donations given to the foundation, and then they were gifted to the ISU.
That's true.
To ISU.
Why don't they take that money and help out?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing, is that if you're going to use money and it's public, expect to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
But they wouldn't have the money to give it to the kids for tuition because it was given for the plane.
Well, then that's really selfish too, right? Because wouldn't it be great if they took $500,000 and gave some more scholarships to kids in need? I mean, this is the thing. I think I think Chris is right. They're probably a little bit embarrassed, but I think they're embarrassed by themselves because it just looks like a bunch of guys floating a lot of money around to make life easier.
All right, Fritz, I appreciate it. I asked for somebody to disagree with me, and you did, and I appreciate that. 4:32, 28 minutes before the top of the hour. Top of the hour, we have Hank, the Bible Answer Man, at 1-888-ASK-HANK, worldwide live show, Answer Bible Questions, and you can call him at 1-888-ASK-HANK. Do you have a text from the Service Legends Truth text line at 809-0993?
Go ahead, do it.
And because it's also brought to you by First Call Bail Bonds, reminding you not to text and drive.
Oh, God.
We got a text that said anything coming from the register should be suspect anyway. That was what one texter said. The other one said, thank you. I did call in and talk to Mac one time. Oh, that's a different thing. Sorry. Shouldn't just read the text before reading the text. No
more.
I'm still mad about DOT Hornet's Nest. Mac stirred up in me, but he's right. The register has been pretty one-sided about more than just the plane. It probably was part of his benefits, and they hired him.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. When we come back, Frankie's in the news. Little Frankie? He's filed a lawsuit alleging that Windsor Heights is relying on a controversial interpretation of Iowa's public records law to block him from obtaining police video he says would show his vehicle was illegally stopped and searched. I'll see if I can get Frankie. We're going to talk about that and more when we come back. Remember the phone numbers. Please write them down. Put them in your phone. Put them in your address book. Write them on your palm. Whatever you need to do. You may not want to call in now, but when you do, you'll want those numbers right there. Studio line 515-244-0077. And the Service Legends Truth text line brought to you by First Call Bail Bonds. They remind you not to text and drive at 515-809-0993. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, is not here, so Chris is running the text.
Hi!
And he gets a big kick every time that there's a text, you hear this. And so if you would please send a text, we can hear this, this, and this more often.
Now you're going to stop people from sending text.
I know, it irritates me too. We're coming back. Clutch is in the studio along with Frank. Jebediah is doing all the hard work in the producer's building. And I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for listening. Love this gig. Couldn't do it without you. Right here live on The Truth. Yep, I said the truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed raters free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, It's still fixed right or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 100
We promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes before the top of the hour, and I got a question for you. If you get pulled over by a police officer and they want to search your car, can you tell them? Hold 515-244-0077, or you can send us a text at 515-809-0993 right here on Max World 99.3 FM The Truth. Frank?
Well, what I've been told, because I have been pulled over a couple times, once had my car searched for no legitimate reason, that they can search your car with probable cause, and the fact that they pulled you over falls under the purview of probable cause. Now, I don't know if you tried to fight that in court, but I said no, and I got handcuffed and put in the back of a state trooper car while he searched my car, and then he come back and said, well, you ain't got nothing in there. I said, I know I didn't have anything in there. But there was another car that went by me, a similar color and a similar model, that was swerving and was drunk driving, and I think they were looking for that person and thought it was me, and when they found out it wasn't me, they said, oh, never mind, and they let me go. But they searched my car anyway. And I said, no, I didn't want them to search my car. And they said, well, because we pulled you over, we have probable cause. Now, they didn't specify what the probable cause was. I was doing something. But they've always got these technicalities now that they could pull you over. You ain't wearing your seatbelt, probable cause. You see if you have your insurance card with you.
Kind of a gray area, isn't it? Probable cause?
It just gives them a foothold to
on my not to text and drive.
I love Clutch's face every time I ring that bell. This is just a quick comment about the plane thing, and I just wanted to get it on. Respect the texter, you know what I mean? I really don't care if he crashed the plane, didn't he pay for the damages? It's an interesting perspective if he did pay for the damages, and I don't know that he did.
It's insured, obviously.
You would imagine.
Chris, go.
Laws, okay. Actually, as a police officer in Illinois, I'm sure the laws are really similar. You have to have probable cause to make a stop. Randomly stop people. and these road safety stops they have, or roadblocks they do safety checks on, they have to set up before they even start it. They will search every fifth car. I mean, you have to submit all this. It has to be approved. But as far as the probable cause, if I stop you for speeding, or for equipment violations such as a tail light being out, brake light being out, headlight being out, whatsoever, or your registration light's not properly working, or you didn't signal, I can stop. Those are all reasons to stop you. Okay. Once I approach your vehicle, okay, at that time, if I suspect that you have something in there of some type of illegal contraband, or there's some kind of illegal activity going on, I can request at that time for your permission if I could examine the inside of your car, if I can search your car. And at that time, you also have the right to tell me no. Unless I see something out in plain view, such as an open bottle of alcohol.
Or Dr. Pepper.
Or Dr. Pepper. I mean, that will definitely bring red lights on.
Yeah, it's Frank all the way, man. I'm going to get him for that, too.
Anyway, I have to see something that's illegal in plain view. I just can't randomly stop you and say, okay, hey, Mac or Chris or whoever, get out of the car. I'm searching your car. I don't have that right. I have to have probable cause. I have to have suspicion that there's something going on. And I have to be able to articulate it in a report. And if I make an arrest, it all has to be, articulated why I stopped you, what I saw that, that allow me to further my, search of a vehicle. So, I mean, we have a lot of rules. I mean, they have a canine now, and the dog alerts on the car. Then that's probable cause to search the car too. So, we have to have probable cause.
Here's what I don't understand, Chris, and just talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old on this. I don't understand why the police don't have every single right to stop a vehicle and look what's inside. Well, I think you guys are given so much grief out there over the stupidest little things. If you got something in your car and you don't want it found, then you should be searched. It's that old adage, the only people that complain about this stuff are the people that are hiding stuff.
But true, I agree. But I also know that we do need probable cause. I mean, we need restraint too. We need to have guidelines that we need to follow. I mean, I'm not really sure what kind of country we would live in where the police could just stop you randomly and search you randomly. I mean, that's a little scary. I mean, even being a police officer, I think most police officers would agree with me. We don't want to do that either. I mean, that's not our goal. I mean, if you read on the side of the door of a police car, it says to protect and serve. And I think most police officers, our job is to protect and serve. I catch guys with large amounts of drugs or guns or whatever, and I catch them where I was working, and I arrest them. I tell them, don't ever come back. I don't want you here. I'm protecting these people, or this is my neighborhood. I don't want you back here. And so I kind of took it personal, like if you brought drugs or something illegal into where I was patrolling or part of my, I call you out on it. I tell you right now, don't come back. Now I know you. Now I know what you look like, and I'm going to be watching you.
All right, Chris, hold on just a second. Frank?
Chris, I have a question that I've wanted to ask an officer, and maybe you can answer it for me.
I can't believe you're going to ask him this question. We have gone over this over and over. This is an inappropriate question to ask someone who is defending us in the law.
No. When you are pulled over in a traffic stop.
Oh, it's the traffic stop question now.
I have been told that the fact that you have been pulled over, by all intensive purposes, you are under arrest. Now, whether the officer chooses to put you in cuffs or not is up to his discretion.
It isn't true.
And when you sign the ticket, you are basically saying that you're being released under your own recognizance. Am I correct, or am I wrong?
I think you're pretty right. Once you're stopped, once you're being detained, I mean, you do not have the right to leave. I mean, you are being detained. So, technically, yes. I mean, and a lot of times that's a technicality a lot of defense attorneys use to beat an arrest. Is you'll stop somebody on a traffic stop, end up making some type of an arrest on drugs or something like that. Well, they go to court. Well, did you read him the Miranda right? Well, I just, you just stopped him, but you're right, Frank, that it is actually you're affecting an arrest once you stop and detain them. They no longer have freedom to leave. But a lot of the really smart guys, the guys that have been around that are criminals, you stop them and they'll right off the bat to say, "Am I under arrest?" And if you tell them no, they'll say that I'm leaving, and they'll leave. So,
well, it's true though. I mean,
it is true.
Until you Miranda them, I mean, being detained and being arrested are two different things. Being under arrest and being detained are two different things.
I said technically. I didn't say that you were officially under arrest, but what I've been told by an officer is for all intensive purposes, you're under arrest. When the red lights come on, you're under arrest, and if you flee from that, you're resisting arrest.
That's true.
Officer, I just want you to know that Frank drives a Ford Green pickup, license plate, and he's carrying illegal pork.
Fast dog. That's my license plate.
Hey, Chris, are you my Chris? Last with an H?
Yes.
Oh, I love you, buddy.
You betcha.
Man,
Thank you, brother.
You're just
great program. I'll tell you guys are just doing a great job. I tell you, and I know, and I'll tell you. I want to tell you one thing. From being a police officer, I hold federal prisoners for the U.S. Marshals. And so I was around, the bad of the bad, I guess, bank robbers, murderers, hitmen. And I'm going to tell you something. Of all the years that I did that, I can honestly count on one hand the people that were truly, I would say, unremorseful, that were truly evil. Most of all those other people that I met were actually really, really nice people. They were people that made poor choices. Some are products of their environment. And they were fertile ground for me to witness to them about Jesus Christ.
I double that. Amen. Chris, thanks for calling in. You're always welcome in Mac's World.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
10 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News, and then Hank, the Bible Answer Man. A Des Moines man is in a lawsuit filed against Windsor Heights Police Department. They're relying on a controversial interpretation of Iowa public law to block him from obtaining police video that would show his vehicle was illegally stopped and searched. Yes, our own Frankie Mink, little Frankie, was cited and later pled guilty to operating a non-registered vehicle as of the result of a June 19th stop for expired license plates and was fined $50. Windsor Heights police officer Andrew Nissen claimed after the stop that he smelled marijuana. Despite Mink's objection, Nissan searched his vehicle. No drugs were found. No charges beyond the traffic citation were filed. Meek subsequently requested records, including police video, in an attempt to review whether there was a civil rights violation resulting from the search. Windsor Heights has refused to release the records, saying they're part of a police investigation. It is a controversial and relatively recent interpretation of Iowa law that says placement of a comma in the Iowa law means the records can be withheld from the public indefinitely.
What?
A comma? Oh, it is a controversial and relatively recent interpretation of Iowa law that says placement of a comma in the Iowa law means the records can be withheld from the public indefinitely. The lawyer says the city has violated the state's open records law and its refusal to release his records. He's filed a lawsuit on the behalf of Mink, asking Iowa courts to force the city to produce the records, issued an injunction prohibiting the city from such future action, and is to pay $500 in damages. Well, I'm sure we'll be able to get Frankie on to talk about that. I tried to call him, and he's not answering. So this story just came out today, right? Or
I
yesterday?
saw it today. Yeah, I saw it today. But it looks like it was, he said back in June.
Yeah, June 19th.
So, I mean, it's been a while.
Well, and you know, I don't know. You know, I'm pro cop. I just am. I always have been, always will be. My mother was a federal court judge for years, Superior Court justice. And man, when I'd get my butt chewed when I was a kid, it was because I was mad at the cop for pulling me over and giving me a ticket. And it was my mother that made me realize over and over and over and over and over, it's just a ticket. You have the right to go to court and fight the ticket. Don't fight the police officer. Just take the ticket, sign it, and go on your way. Now, do you agree with that?
I agree with that. I do.
Do you, Frank?
Well, we had a young lady.
You're a scofflaw, Frank.
No,
You're carrying illegal weapons in that green
Yeah.
1979 Ford truck license plate ERH.
They're all registered.
All right, go ahead.
We had a young lady in here.
Your brass knuckles aren't registered.
We had a young lady in here over the summer who was arguing the fact that she should be able to resist this and resist that. The time to... You comply with the officer, you comply with his commands. If you think he's done something beyond the bounds, then there's another avenue to fight that. You don't fight it out on the street because it's always going to end badly. And we had a young lady in here over the summer that tried to argue and fight it on the street, and she got in trouble, and she was here and kind of pleading her case, and I told her that day that, no, that's not the place you fight it. You fight it somewhere else. And you fight it in the court where this stuff is, you don't argue, you submit, you do what you're, yes sir, no sir, you do what you're supposed to do. And that goes for black people, that goes for white people. You just are polite, you submit to what they want you to do, and you go on your way. You don't get shot, you don't get killed, you don't get harassed. I don't believe white people are any more or black people are in any more danger getting shot by an officer than a white person. It all depends on how you act when you're being pulled over and stopped.
Yes, Frank. Mr. Roloff? I got a seatbelt ticket.
I did get a seatbelt ticket.
What'd that cost you?
$200 plus, didn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Crazy expensive.
Do you have your seatbelt on now forever?
Most of the time. I mean, always. Yes, sir. Sir, all the time. Yes, sir.
So
Always.
what do you think about? Go ahead, Frank.
And $50 for that stop for whatever, that was cheap because most stops you get pulled over anymore, it's in the hundreds.
Oh yeah, cop pulls you over. It's just hand
Well,
him a check for $100. No, don't do that. You'll get bribed. That's bad. That's a crime. Don't do that.
Here's what I'm guessing. Knowing Frankie the way I do, and I love Frankie. Frankie and I are buds. Frankie used to be on the radio with us. I'm there for Frankie anytime he needs it. But my guess is they caught Frankie on a bad day, and you don't mess with Frankie. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie American History X, he's in the opening scene when he curbs a guy. And if you don't know what curbing is,
don't look it up.
I don't think I want to say it on the radio. But, I mean, Frankie was a bad, bad dude. Frankie went to prison. Frankie was a skinhead. His book, The Autobiography of a Recovering Skinhead, is a bestseller. And yeah, he lives right here in Des Moines. Why does he live in Des Moines? Because his wife, his beautiful wife, is from here, and she got a big job at a company here in town, so they moved to Des Moines. He's from Philadelphia. Water. Water. Give me a glass of water. That's Frankie. Got that Philadelphia accent. And the long story short is he goes to prison. He hates black people. He hates Jews. That's what skinheads do. And he gets a job working for a Jewish furniture maker, of all things. And this Jewish furniture maker, I think, had a little Jesus in him. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but he did. And he brought Frankie to, well, he brought him out of the skinhead stuff, and he brought him out of hating Jews. And now Frankie is what is he? He's like Batman when it comes to civil rights. He's very much into, people being honored on their civil rights. And my guess is this just didn't go well from day one on this, and we'll get Frankie on. We'll get him on and get him a chance to talk about it. Okay, anything else from you over there, Mr. Roloff?
Well, I'd like to do a program on this topic a little bit. I think one of the things that's wrong in our country is that we buy into this whole notion that people are innocent until they're proven guilty, and we live in this. We live with this attitude of saying, no matter what I do wrong, it doesn't matter until you can prove that I did it. And that attitude is really a destructive attitude. It's a destructive attitude in our own hearts, and I think it's a destructive attitude in our culture. It'd be fun to do a show about that sometime and kind of unpack what I mean by that.
Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to have a very special guest, and it's very special because he's willing to come on this show and fight for something that I don't agree with, and that's Planned Parenthood. No, it's not anybody from Planned Parenthood. It's somebody from Susan G. Komen.
He's not coming in to fight for Planned Parenthood or defend Planned Parenthood or anything like that.
He's coming to defend that they give money to Planned Parenthood.
I don't even know about that. He's coming in because he's the executive director of the Susan G. Komen Foundation here in Iowa, and he's going to come in and talk to us about the race that they've got and the work that they do raising funds to cure cancer, et cetera, et cetera. But he's going to have to answer some difficult questions. I told him that ahead of time. A lot of people don't want to give or support Susan G. Komen because apparently they give money to Planned Parenthood, and that upsets a lot of people.
Apparently.
I'm gonna talk to Roger.
And he said he would come in anyway, right?
And he said he would come in anyway. So he ain't scared of you, man.
He ain't scared.
Yeah, he ain't scared of you.
Man, it's the guy from Roger Rabbit. All right, Clutch, thanks for being here. You're welcome anytime. Jebediah, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow right here in Max World. And remember, I tell you over and over and over, I ask you over and over and over, and I'm guilty. I'm a hypocrite. I don't always do it, but I'm going to ask you. You're carrying a resentment. Get rid of it. Forgive. Because as you forgive, that's how Papa will forgive you. I'll see you in church.